We are ready for liftoff. Good morning. You are experiencing the Fellowship of Spirit Zoom meeting from Farmington, New Mexico, and we are extremely happy that you are with us today. And we have a few people in the sanctuary today, not as many as we had hoped for, but we know that it'll increase. People continue to come in, and whoever is here is exactly the way that it is supposed to be. We have an exciting and terrific program for you today. We have Travis from California, and we have Margaret Cheesebro Travis is going to deliver our main message, and he always has good stuff to say, and we're anxious to hear what he has to say today. Margaret Cheesebro will be playing our music and accompanied by the wonderful voice of Steve Barker. And don't hold me to that, but anyway, that's the way I'm viewing it today. Anyway, and Steve will also be giving us our spiritual reading. So sit back and enjoy our program today as we bring it to you with the intention of love and communion together. So Margaret is going to play our prelude. Yeah, first, before we do that, are there any announcements? No announcements that need to be done at the beginning of the meeting. Yeah, we're going to have a short board meeting after the meeting. We'll announce that at the end also. So without further ado, Margaret is going to play our prelude, which will help you to what? Yeah, Thank you, Margaret. Okay. Also, I forgot to say that I'm Ron Holloway, and I'll be your moderator for today. Okay. Anyone want to offer a opening prayer? If not, I will. Creator, Father, Mother, God, beneficent Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity to come together and join our hearts and minds that we may experience that closer to that oneness that is the reality. We ask that you would guide us in all of our undertakings and protect us from any erring thoughts that we may have. We ask that you would just bless us and keep us. Amen. So, okay. So, our reflection moment is after the next. No, we did that one already. Right? No, we got to do God of the Earth song. Is our next song is number 9. Okay, next time I will. Okay. Yeah, that happened really fast, so I got it up there. There you go, Steve and Margaret.
I like your socks, Steve.
Pardon?
I like your socks.
Oh, thank you. All right. Just getting ready for the next song. Sorry for the dead air time, but we are very, very pleased to have with us today. Steve Barker is going to do a spiritual reading. Oh, we didn't do the reflection. I started to do it, but I didn't get it done. So we're going to do our reflective mode now. Love produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I feel privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another as we create an atmosphere of holiness. And so it is. All right.
Okay. Today's reading is from this month's Science of Mind, which the Oprah writing theme of is living everyday wonder or our finances. And so there's a longer one called Money Loves Rhythm, which I'd love to read, but this one's a little shorter one, and it's kind of more to the point of spiritualism. And it's by a young lady named Swati Singh, and it's called Money Isn't Unspiritual. My palm is itching. Oh, it is your right or your left one. Why? If it is the left palm, you will receive money soon. If it's the right one, more expenses are on the way. I received money as well as spent it after having this itchy palm, so I'm not sure if this superstition is accurate. Good luck charms and money magnet beliefs have been prevalent around the world since ancient times. Some seem to be irrational beliefs, while others give the impression that they might bring positive energies or good habits into our space, so they become popular cultural beliefs. Feng Shui suggests keeping plants with round leaves, preferably with red or purple flowers, to attract wealth. Burying money under the floor and walking on it is the wealth attracting custom in China. Yellow is the color of abundance in Mexico. There are conflicts found in these superstitions too. In Argentina, finding money on the street is considered lucky, but you should never spend it. Keeping it will bring you more money. But in Trinidad and Tobago, finding money on the street could bring evil spirits into your home. Which one do you want to believe? Money is more than just currency. It is freedom for some, a sense of achievement for others. It is security for many. Some believe it buys happiness. However, many studies and research prove money can help only to a certain level where your basic physiological and social needs are met. After that, happiness no longer increases with the increase in money. Super rich people are super anxious too. This is why it's significant to understand that money is a means, not a goal. Money and spirituality? There's a common belief that money is materialism and doesn't mix with spirituality. Furthermore, denouncing everything and going to the Himalayas or a monastery is attaining the ideal spiritual life. While that is a noble and perhaps ultimate path, it is not for everyone. Your life purpose may have to come from leading a worldly life and completing your lessons. When we seek abundance, it is in every form. There is nothing unspiritual about it. It is not money that is evil. It is one's intentions and greed that may be. How you acquire it and how you use it determines whether it is opening a door to awareness or stagnating your growth. Wealth becomes an evil only when it is earned by ignoring Dharma and used for purposes other than upholding it. We came across all kinds of temptations that could trigger us to act ethically or unethically. Psychologists have studied the impact of wealth on human behavior and found that money can strongly influence our sense of morality and our relationships with others. Again, it is up to us. Money, a teacher? Money can be a great teacher on our life path. Wealth opens more dimensions of experiences. Whether we learn from them or not is on us. Money teaches control. Your desire to have more doesn't override your conscience. You won't take what belongs to others. Money teaches us about greed. We shouldn't cling to money. It is a transactional tool. We need to know the word enough and not allow money to rule our minds. Money-mindedness is what needs to be renounced. Money teaches us philanthropy. helping those in need without any expectation of brownie points from God. Help others because it's the right thing to do. People who have experienced a rough financial phase are found to be more empathetic and kind towards humanity. Perhaps this is because they felt the struggles and know the true meaning of gratitude. What you gather in light should be used to help those in darkness. The Upanishads, late Vedic Sanskrit texts of Hindu philosophy, say money is purified by selfless donations and contentment. This is one of the important lessons money can teach us on our life path. The Upanishads present a vision of an interconnected universe with a single unifying principle behind the apparent diversity in the cosmos, any articulation of which is called Brahman. Within this context, the Upanishads teach that Brahman resides in the Atman, the unchanging core of the human individual. This means money is part of that unchanging truth. The beauty is in our use and intentions for financial gain, not in the paper currency we carry or have in the bank. The Vedas describe money as green energy, which you receive in exchange for your energy in the form of concerted physical and mental effort. In other words, we exert our inherent energy in such a way that it proves to be beneficial for others. I came across this wonderful quote. Imagine what the world would be like if the majority of the money was in conscious hands. That is the connection between your spirituality and wealth, not having less or more. May our sense of morality and loving kindness float above the abundance we create and attract. The quote is, money is like a river. It flows where the conditions are conducive to its flow. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Give Steve a hand. All right. Yeah. Found out quite a while ago that, you know, it's not money, having it or not having it. If I'm obsessed with not having, but if I don't have enough and I'm obsessed with that, or if I have so much that I'm obsessed with keeping it, it still has me. I don't have it. And it's a tool, and like neither good nor bad, but you know, electricity we think of as being good, but you know, it's how it's used, because we also take and hook that to chairs and make electric chairs and kill people with the same electricity, and the electricity doesn't really care. It's a matter of how it is used. We could either light our houses or we can kill people with it. It's how we use it that matters. So thank you, Steve. Okay, so now we have the song I Am So Happy, number 345. Is it? Okay. Thank you. I'll get ready for our next which is let's celebrate life. All right. So now we're going to have Travis from Southern California, who spoken here many times, and he came here, I think, in not too long after the fellowship was established many years ago in the early '90s, and he was a good friend of Susan and Randy Barnes, and he's still a good friend of ours, and we appreciate his messages always and his wisdom. So let us welcome Travis.
So thank you for that. And yes, good friends gathering together. It's a beautiful day. Well, as per usual, I am not going to break with my tradition of starting out with something I often heard at the Church of Religious Science in Durango to begin sermons. And that was a really great proclamation. And that is that life has but one divine will, and that will is to fully express itself at every point in the universe, and you and I are one of those points. Now that proclamation from time to time is closely associated, very pertinent to the message, and that happens to be the case this time. And so our message once again is by divine appointment. I am, you are, here by divine appointment. Now, what does that mean? I think we've all heard that a number of times. All the twists and turns that we have taken, the hallways, the doorways, the pathways that we've passed by or have entered through have brought us to this moment, to this event, this here and now, whether in person or by Zoom. Now, some may think that coincidences have played a part as unexpected, sometimes unwanted events and developments have served to drive us this way and that, willy-nilly, it would seem, and then only to find ourselves a little bit amazed to find ourselves deposited right here and now in this moment. And I would say, oh no, I don't think so when it comes to coincidences. My belief in those is already now long in the past. In this universe, which I have come to regard as incredibly ordered and logical, there is a law. There's a law that I'm pretty certain many of you have been using with increased enthusiasm and wisdom. And it says that I can do nothing other than reap what I sow. It says that as I believe, so shall it be. And this appears to be universally accepted, having been recognized, it seems. It's found in the writings of all societies and all continents, and from, perhaps from the beginning of written history. And so the question sometimes is like, how is this really possible that this law can work, that what I believe comes back to me? It seems mechanical, like a mirror that is reflecting me when I look into it. Well, wait a minute, is a mirror mechanical? I once kind of thought that along those lines when the rear view mirror went out in my 1960 Pontiac Bonneville, and I went to the auto parts store and I asked them if I needed to replace the whole mirror or could I install a new picture tube. But that aside, it is like a mirror. And, I have to say, why should life give us results that are consistent with our deep beliefs, our expectations? We don't know. We don't know any more than we know how gravity works. There is something about life, though, that makes it so. And I like to think of it as a cosmic dynamic. That's kind of like a broad scope term that, I don't know how it works, but it is a dynamic for sure. And it is indeed cosmic. It is commonly called a law, and we absolutely can make and do make mistakes with it, especially if we are ignorant or not attentive to it. It is often called the law of cause and effect. My life is the effect. And if there are unwanted conditions and circumstances in my life, they have been brought about by my beliefs. Now, I could say that and I think I might have said this before, because when I say that, it really is easy for me to reflect upon the first time I took a course in Science of Mind up there in Durango. And it was an 8-month course, the whole school year. And at the end, I thought, well, I can believe this is true half of the time. That the things that are happening to me and my circumstances, I could believe half the time that I have drawn those, and they are a reflection of my beliefs. But then I took another course, and that was another 8 months. And by the end of that, I probably had bumped that up to 70% of the time I thought maybe that was true. But then I took the practitioner courses, 2 more years. And by the end, I was completely in 100%. I get that. There's nothing else happening as setting the creative process in motion to create the life that I'm going to have in the coming moments, days, and years. Nothing else happening but my own belief and my own thoughts. And so it is reliable and certain, like gravity. You mentioned electricity, made the same point that I'm going to make about gravity, which we can use to have water move from a higher place upon a water wheel and turn it to run a mill to grind grains. We can use it that way, or we can misuse it, make a mistake, and fall out of a tree. And with the use of any law, we must learn from our mistakes. There are lessons to be learned. So by the actions of this law and cause and effect, spirit or life, as this principle, I like to think of as always setting the table, providing us with opportunities to learn the lessons that are immediately before us. And that is one of my favorite perspectives, is to think of life always setting the table by this law, that whatever it is that is most immediate before me as lessons to be learned, that because of my beliefs, some of them dysfunctional and counterproductive, they will still continue to present to me unwanted conditions and circumstances until I learn the lesson and dissolve and put that false belief or those wrong ideas behind me. And because we're so intertwined with this law, because we're so involved in it, we are always unavoidably present. Now, it may not seem like circumstances and situations and our lessons that are before us are by divine appointment, especially if we are believing that I'm not good enough, if I am believing that I can't do it, or that life is a bitch and then you die, then I'm likely to get situations that I would not really consciously choose and that I don't want. And so that doesn't seem like divine appointment, because the law can be a curse in this case. But I wouldn't want it any other way. And I don't think you would too, because if it weren't that way, then how would I have the power to move myself out of doldrums into a greater yet to be? The law can be a curse, but it can free us of a history of disappointments. And when I began to use this law as a valuable tool in my life, it then becomes a little bit more easy to see that everything is a divine appointment. Spirit is setting the table for me to learn what will move me forward in my personal evolution. So back to life having but one divine will to express itself. Who among us is willing and able to participate with life, the universe, or God, or whatever name is selected? Who is holding completely open to life, fully being itself as and through them? Who comes closest? Oh, I think you know. That is the little ones. In Sochi, Russia, I was asked to meet with teenage members of a children's cultural ensemble. They were traveling internationally and doing traditional song and dance. And the director was a friend of one of my students in Sochi. And so she asked me if I could meet with with the members of this ensemble. And so, because they were making choices, you can imagine, traveling internationally, and a world of opportunities, many of them not ones to take on, but opening up to them, whether it's opportunities to get high one way or another, alcohol, drugs, sexual exploration, or who knows what they were getting into. But I met with them, and right away I asked them a question I've asked many groups, and that is, who are the most beautiful and joyful people among us? And they gave me the same answer I expect that I get from others, and that is the little children. Now I presented to them that speaking to them at the age they were teenagers, was a great advantage, because I commonly spoke to people that were 40 and 50 up to 80 years old, whose childhoods were long in the past. But they had the advantage of it not being so long ago, and they could remember and they could identify with that child, which I decided to refer to as the happy, laughing, dancing, beautiful child, that most functional version of myself in terms of sleeping well, of healing or learning quickly, of being love and looking upon my world with wonder and awe. That child was life finding complete, well, as complete as expression as human beings can expect, which kind of makes me think of how, all the rest of the animals are true to their nature. The whippoorwill, can I say that in real time? The whippoorwill sings its song. The dolphin plays in the waves. The lizard basks in the sun. They're all totally true to their natures. And if there are people who are true to their nature, it is the little ones, and who have not yet explored the alternative views of self. They're so beautiful, they're so joyful, because they are still true to their nature before having become socialized. Well, I have a divine appointment with this child. When? Let us remember that we must be as little children to enter the kingdom queendom. Jesus meant what he said, and he wouldn't say it unless we were able to be as little children. He didn't say, you must be as these little ones to enter the kingdom, but good luck, because few, if any of you, will manage to do that. He did not say that. He advised us to be as little children, and that means, from his perspective, and I believe him, that we have that potential. I have a divine appointment, and it is to learn the lesson of how to adopt the way of being of the happy, laughing, dancing, beautiful child, the child that is not restricting the flow of life because of an accumulation of false beliefs and wrong ideas, limited ideas about him or herself. I happened upon an interesting perspective on Thursday, just 3 days ago, as I presented a wellness meditation at the local senior center. I happened upon that perspective because, excuse me, I'm going to have to clear my throat. I'm so delighted my mic.
We're working just fine, so he said.
I was saying I'm so delighted that my microphone is hanging in there after it was going off and on earlier.
It's doing
But I
well,
say,
Travis.
but I say that I happened upon this interesting perspective because I really know where never really know where those meditations will go, because spirit is my co-presenter, and how it will move me is never known until it happens. And someday I would like all my talks to be that way too. Anyway, our group was working to get the daily self out of the way so that life can utilize its own devices. And that is something on my agenda for wellness meditations all the time. I know that's going to happen, to get the daily self out of the way, because it's the daily self that has gotten us into the messes that we get in from time to time. So I can say that we want to let life use its own devices because, oh, for goodness sakes, it is responsible for the infinite number of galaxies spread out in outer space. It is responsible for bringing about human beings in the first place. Life is, oh, it's amazing. I mean, I wouldn't know how to remember to breathe while I'm sleeping, but life knows how to do that. That one life of which I am an expression, it knows so much more than I do. It regulates my heartbeat. It mends broken bones. It heals the skin when it is cut or abrased, and it returns me to health after I have been taken sick. If life does all this work in me and wishes only to fully express itself, would it not be an excellent agent in running my outer daily affairs as well? And that is actually what grace is about. And so we were saying, as we cleared all this up and brought this into focus about the advantageousness of letting life do its thing, we started saying with each breath, yes, life, take charge, do your thing, thank you. Yes, take charge, do your thing, thank you. The infant, the toddler, the preschooler, yeah, they're all really naturals at doing this. Yeah, once again, because they are being true to their nature and have not really yet learned the alternatives which get us into trouble. The joy in their eyes is appreciation of what is, of life here and now. I have a divine appointment, and I accept the lesson before me of remembering how to be that way. If I seem to miss this lesson, miss it, or if I'm late for it, it has nothing to do with space and time. It has to do with me allowing distractions to put me off course. I can't really miss the appointment because, as I asked earlier, when is my divine appointment? Well, it is all the time. It's always there, that divine appointment. And I want to accept that opportunity for it to, for that divine appointment to provide for me a learning opportunity, to set my immediate lessons that are before me right there so I can learn what it is I need to do, what it is I need to understand that I did not understand before, to put that lesson behind me and step up in my personal evolution to the next lesson. And the lessons will keep coming. The divine appointments that we have. We are doing everything by divine appointment. Is do we give attention to what it is before us to understand and to allow life to guide us? This is why I like this idea. I really like this idea because in my healing meditations, I have for a long time said, let us get life out of the way. Now it's, so that it can do its thing to heal me, to nurture me, to make adjustments so that it may be more fully reflected accurately as its divine self in me and through me and as me. And now it occurred to me to expand this to allowing life to play that same role, to serve me in that way in my outer life. Back on course means returning to seeking clarity about the lesson at hand, retiring old beliefs and limited ideas that according to, as I believe, so shall it be, keep bringing up the lessons according to this law, which is a part of what God is. It's how life works. This wonderful, magnificent life will keep on bringing up what it is that I need to deal with to move forward, evolve, and step briskly into my greater yet to be. They're always immediately before me. I wouldn't want it any other way. So I'm just going to say now that I wish you all joy and peace in recognizing that you are here, I am here, everyone is here by divine appointment, and what is present for us is also, and that sets very well in the context of this being the day that the Lord has made, and rejoicing and being glad in it. So I'm pledging to let wisdom be my guide and know that everything is by divine appointment and life is wonderful. And so it is. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you, Travis. We appreciate it. It was really good. Does anyone here have anything that they would like to ask Travis or share with him? Jerry's coming forward.
I always have some comment.
You always have something to say, don't you? That's all right. That's who you are. And we love it.
Good morning, Travis.
Hey, good morning.
Thank you so much for being here and reminding us that the divine appointment is not at 10 o'clock or 9:03 or 7:37. It's any time that we're ready for it. And that is a great thing to remember, because I like to know that I'm going to make my divine appointment and remind myself that everything's an opportunity for a lesson. And sometimes our lessons are from people that we didn't expect it from either. So thank you.
I had intended to say that divine appointment is an integral part of the here and now. The here and now is waiting for us to come home to it.
That's a good point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else? It's always a good message, and we thank you, Robert. So those of you that think that down in there in the bottom of your screen it says John Broderick, that is not a new alias for Travis. He has gotten a new computer, and that he hasn't been able to change that Zoom thing, but he is not John Broderick, nor is he pretending to be John Broderick. He is still our
Nor
same,
will I allow
same loving
John
brother that
Broderick.
we've always had.
I will not allow John Broderick to take credit for this message.
There you go. Okay, we're going to continue on. Thank you very much for bringing this.
Thank you. And yeah, we've actually got two centers today doing a joint service to kick off a joint book club we're doing, and it's happening in about 10 minutes. So when I duck out, that's the reason why. But thank you for this opportunity to share, and it's been wonderful to be with you again.
Thank you for coming and sharing with us. We'll see you again next time. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right. So now we're going to have a song. It's 192. Let's celebrate life.
Let's celebrate life. Let's give it a tune. Let's celebrate freedom, peace, and love each day of the year. Let's light up a fire so people will know that life is great when you start living ways that go. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. The truth has set us free. Let's celebrate life. Let's give it a song. Let's sing about peace and love and freedom all the day long. Let's fire up a salute so people will say, it's a great when you be in a parade. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. The truth has set us free. Let's celebrate life. Let's give it a toast. Let's talk about freedom, peace, and all the things we love most. Let's send up a flare so people will shout. Life is great when you start living. Comes to create a life worth living. Celebrate the life you're living. Sing it right out. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. The truth has set us free.
All right. Thank you, Margaret and Steve. We appreciate your efforts, and we really appreciate your socks. Stand right there. Back up one step, so everyone can enjoy Steve's socks today.
Yeah, they keep the legs together.
I just wish he wasn't so conservative. Anyway. All right, so that's great. So we're now going to indulge in our celebration of abundance. So I think we lost all of our Zoom people. Well, they all had something else to do, and it's really easy to click out rather than go out the door. So anyway, let us place over our heart that which we intend to contribute and say, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive through infinity. I am prosperous. All right. Yeah. As Bill Clark is making his way to us here, we're gonna, come on up, Bill. And I'm going to ask you about how is our brother George?
George continues his recovery. He's resting, sleeping, doing more walking each day. It's a slow path, though. It's going to take him a while to get ready to have the energy to move on to the next step in his life. But overall, you're very welcome to come and visit. He would probably really appreciate it. Steve poked his head in this past weekend. So if somebody can do that, that would be great. He gets kind of bored.
And he's staying with you and Sue. Is that
Correct.
correct?
He's in our guest bedroom. I said he's, yes, George is at our house. He's staying in our guest bedroom, but it'd be really nice for you to come and visit if you have some time.
Okay. Well, thank you. And Bill is going to give us our closing benediction or some words of
Did
wisdom.
we have any other announcements, or were we good?
We're going to have a small, short board meeting after. I don't know if we have enough, very few people here on the board, but there's going to be a quorum. So there's something that Jerry wants to bring forth. So we will do that after the closing and a few minutes after. So that's the only announcement that I'm aware of. You have one, Steve?
Yeah, this year we worked up at the pumpkin patch again. And so as part of our bounty, I've got a trailer load full of pumpkins, which I'll bring to the church and array around the church here. And they're available whether you want one for free or to make a donation. So the only stipulation that we have with the pumpkin patch people is that we don't go out and sell them.
Right.
So.
Yeah, sure. We don't want to be in competition with our supplier,
Right.
with our benefactor.
And
Right.
so rather than going and paying $5 for one pumpkin, come here and get them for cheap.
Yeah. So, all right. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay,
They'll be
thank you,
here next
Steve.
week.
Okay, Shay has something.
Okay, at the Caliente group, the choir is doing a cabaret performance on the 22nd. And if you're interested in tickets, come see me.
Okay.
Where will this be?
The cabaret?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Is it at the college?
I think it's San Juan College, a little theater.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, only a couple weeks left to buy tickets, so let me know.
Can you buy them at the door?
You can, but they're more.
They're more at the door. If you want to save some money, get them
And
before.
I think they're serving food.
Mhm.
So if you're interested, buy your ticket ahead of time so we know how much food you get.
Ah, that's always helpful. Is there anything else? Thank you, Shay. All right. So, all right, go ahead, Brother Bill.
For the closing prayer, this is from the little book, Positive Quotations. Life is messy. Maturity is achieved when a person accepts life as full of tension. Joshua Loth Lieberman. Most sources of stress come from fears and concerns over factors we cannot control. When there is tension in our lives, our initial reaction is to want to fix it, make it better. But life is messy. The more we risk and love, the more we grow. The more we make ourselves vulnerable to the further conflict, obstacles, and tension. At the heart of serenity and maturity is the willingness to release our need to control or remove all the sources of tension. With that, we free ourselves to even grow more. I am so glad it's not my responsibility to fix every problem and tension in my life. I will let it go of the small stuff so I can free myself to live and grow. Y'all have a wonderful week.
Thank you. Yeah, life is messy. We've talked about the dog, the puppies that I have. And so I still have 4 and the mama dog, and there's 5 of them. And now they're half grown, even at 3.5 months. My largest one, I found out this week, weighs 35 pounds, and the mother only weighs 50. Okay, at 3.5 months, it's 35 pounds. And this past week, because the mother dog was getting out, I found last Sunday I came home and she was out. I had to keep them in the house all the time this last week. And I'll tell you what, my life became very messy. And I found myself, though, still continuing to tell the dogs, good boy, you're a good boy. Not because they were, but because I want them to be good. And I'm projecting that they are going to be good. So anyway, that's the way that I do things. So anyway, I think that that's probably about it. If you'd like to come up and we'll make a circle and have our closing songs. In some kind of way. No.
Girls. Hi, girl.
I can't get me off of there. Yeah, hi, ladies. How are you? Good. It's good to see you.
Good time to join.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairie to the ocean, wide we roam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. So next week, next Sunday, I will be out of town. And so we're gonna have a mystery moderator here. We don't know who it's gonna be. We suspect it may be Steve, it may be Jerry, it may be Bill. We don't know. You'll have to tune in next Sunday to find out who's gonna be the moderator. So I'm sure that they will be probably better than I am, but anyway, come back next
You're
Sunday.
irreplaceable, Ron.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard that before. So anyway, thank you. Anyway, so may God bless you and keep you until we meet again.
Amen.
Roxy, you lost your balloon.
Ron,
Yes. Oh,
good to see you.
good to see you.
How's that?